Well, good evening. Good evening. How's everyone? Good evening. I'm just trying to get things going here. Good evening. How's everyone? All righty. Good evening. I'm just trying to get. All righty. So I'm all set. Well, hello, everyone. How are you? How are you? It's me, Dr. Naita, and it's so good to see you this evening. So, are you ready? Are you ready? Look. I have a great show, a great topic that I want to talk about this evening. And it's about pursuing whatever it is that you're pursuing, but pursuing it with balance or finding your balance in the pursuit. Because, if you don't put you first, trust me, nobody else will. I'll say that again. If you don't put you first, no one else will. And this week, whoa, has this been an eye opener? It has been an eye opener for me when I look at all the things that have been said about our dear. I'm trying to share my screen with you all, and it's acting a little funny, but. There we go. There we go. So I want to share this particular screen with you. But when we look at all the things that have been said about Simone Biles this week or this past week, and how, they say how she, what is she sold out the team and the US team, and because she pulled out a floor competition, and it was just some horrific things that were said about her, clearly by people who have no idea and no understanding as to how scoring is done in gymnastics. But yet and still, people had all kind of things to say. So there were some who gave her praise, and celebrated her for her decision, her good decision to put herself first, to pull out of competition, out of the team competition, so that a poor performance would not impact the team score. But people who don't do gymnastics failed to understand that. So they had plenty of things to say. So that's what I want to talk about tonight. I want to talk about finding your balance, maintaining your balance, even while pursuing your dreams. So welcome back. It's me again. That was the short intro. That was the short one. But look, yes, this week it was just so much said about Simone. There were so many people who did celebrate her decision to put herself first. There were people who commended her and cheered her on for putting herself first. But then there were so many other people who just blasted her and condemned her. And, as though all of her years of excellence mean nothing because she decided to put herself first. And I'm looking at some of the quotes that came out in the news that said that for exceptional Black women like Simone Biles, greatness is never enough. And that is so unfair. That is so unfair. But it's not enough. Enough for who? It's not enough for who? And that's the question I'm asking all of you. Why we're pushing ourselves, and especially the women. We push ourselves and we just continue to go and drive and go and drive and go and drive and for who? For what? For what? I want to say one other thing. This other comment. Let me see if I can pull that up so that you can actually see what I am referring to. But it says that. Okay, add that to the stream. Thank you. It says, whenever Biles pulls on her leotard, it's as though she's tightening a cape around her neck. She's the hero tasked with saving a sullied sport, embodying some trite belief in American dominance, and also carrying a gender of an entire race. So she represents all Black women. It says who? Why? Why do we do this? Why do we put ourselves through this? Why do we expect so much from each other? but or even out of ourselves. Why do we put this on us? And that's something again that I want us to, explore today, because while we are while we are pursuing excuse me, while we are pursuing our goals, we have to keep in mind, what am I doing this for? Am I trying to impress someone else? Am I trying to live up to this dream or this saying that I can do everything, I can have it all, despite the fact that I only get 24 hours in a day? What sacrifices am I making now that will hurt me later in life? I forsake sleeping now, and I forsake eating well now. But first couple years, you may not see much of an impact, but later in life, you definitely will. So again, this is something that I wanted to explore today. So let's just start. We're talking about maintaining balance while in pursuit of whatever it is you're in pursuit of. It could be a relationship. It could be that next promotion. It could be that next degree. It could be just getting your kids through school. What is it? Whatever it is. But the bottom line is we must write the vision. We must write the vision and make that vision plain. Make it plain. Make it plain so that we know, what your vision is. What are you working towards? And if you're not working towards something, it's time to be working towards something, having goals in mind, having that 5-year goal. And then what smaller steps does it take to accomplish that 5-year goal? Like if I'm trying to accomplish something in 5 years, then at the end of 2 years, where am I with regards to accomplishing that 5-year goal? If I'm trying to accomplish a 2-year goal, 6 months in, where am I with regards to accomplishing that goal? We must create step-by-step plans. We must monitor our progress. Are we making strides? Are we getting to, are we checking that bank account and seeing that, yes, I am, I'm at a benchmark. I've made a benchmark. I'm receiving interest on that money. I'm moving towards my goal. These are small steps that we have to take. And yes, pursuing education is a wonderful thing, and I'll make this even bigger. Pursuit of education is a wonderful thing. It can lead to better jobs, higher earning potentials, better resources for health. The unemployment rate of people with degrees is generally lower. There's generally reduced stress. It's increased social and psychological skills and networking opportunities, better food options, better lifestyle, less likely to die. And then, and I took this from an article from the Center of Society and Health. Less likely, we're all going to die. Okay, education is not going to prevent you from dying. No, it's not. And of course, I just dropped something. But no, it's not going to prevent you from dying. But what it can do is it can help towards keeping you healthy. So again, by having better food choices and better lifestyle, these are some small things that lead towards a longer and healthier lifestyle. So yes, pursuit of education is a wonderful thing. I heard someone say, I think on Instagram, his name was Kevin Samuels. He has lots to say. But one thing I heard him say is that a lot of times Black women will run towards education. When they can't get a man, they run towards education. That's interesting. That's very interesting. But education, it opens doors. And if you look at the numbers, you look at the statistics, there are more higher degrees being awarded to African-American women nowadays. This is true because we understand that, we do bear a lot of the responsibility in our communities. Better education brings in more resources. More resources helps us help ourselves and help others. So, but we do it, or are we doing, the question is, are we doing it and maintaining our own health at the same time? Because while African-American women are statistically earning more higher level degrees, while we are doing this, We also top the charts with heart disease, high blood pressure. We're more likely to die giving birth, and a host of other things, a host of other healthcare issues. So we must do things, even though we are pursuing excellence in various areas, we cannot sacrifice our own selves, because what's the purpose of getting a degree and we die the next day, or we're too sick. We run our bodies down till we're too sick to enjoy the fruits of our labor. So yes, career pursuit is wonderful. Educational pursuit is wonderful. Being in relationships takes work, and that's wonderful. Having family and friends and pursuing your interests, all these things are wonderful, but we cannot do it at the point where we sacrifice our lives. And that's ultimately what a lot of us are doing. And we bottom line, we must do better. We must do better. So I'm hoping, and then on top of that, life's just stressful. It's just stressful. It's stressful. And let me make sure. Any comments so far? We have any comments? Anybody here tonight? Well, we're just going to keep on rolling anyway. Life is stressful. Life is stressful. We know that. So how do we maintain this balance? How do we maintain this balance and improve our health maintain our health while we are in pursuit of whatever we're in pursuit of? I think the first thing, which I talk a lot about, is that we must get moving. We must break away from that computer. We must eat well, and we must get moving. Exercise, be it, and I mean, you don't have to join exercise classes. Just YouTube has everything. YouTube has absolutely everything. Anything you're interested in, you can find it on YouTube. So, doing yoga through YouTube, lifting weights, being in an exercise class, all these things, you can now do it right in the comfort of your own home. Sometimes you can buy little, weights and exercise bands. You can get those for $5, and the bottom line is, though, we have to keep moving. Again, what's the point in us accomplishing all these goals, all these career goals, and then we're not even healthy enough to stick around to see the work, the fruit of our labor? And that's serious. That's important. When we have young people dying in their 30s and 40s, that's too young. That's too young. So, yes, we have to be willing to do the work and know what it is that we're working towards, but we must do it while we're still, maintaining our own health and our own mental well-being. We have to be willing to do the work. I talk about that all the time. I know when I'm talking with students, are you willing to do the work? And a lot of times students like, yeah, I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm willing to sacrifice until, I get that notification on my phone. Somebody's trying to reach me, I'm willing to do the sacrifice until something funny comes on television or something that I want to see comes on television. I'm willing to make the sacrifice until, well, then no. If we're willing to sacrifice, then we have to be willing to say no to some things. We have to be willing to, get out there and do the work, to practice. Coach Pat Riley, I often, in my book, I often quote lots of coaches because I love sports and stuff. So Coach Pat Riley once said that excellence is the gradual result of always striving to do better. So as long as we're always striving to do better, and doing better also means doing better and making sure we're taking care of ourselves. Does that make sense? Yes. I know that's good stuff. I know it is. Those that make it to the next level are those who are willing to do the work. But again, what's the point in doing all the work if you're not going to maintain your own health, your own mental and physical health? And I'm preaching to the choir tonight, meaning that I'm speaking to myself tonight. I had a situation over the weekend where I did something extremely strenuous outside in the heat, in the South Florida heat nonetheless, And during the midst of everything, I ran out of water, and I'm a water drinker. And I was really not feeling well. I really was. And, but anyway, I kept pressing through. And then I had to drive back. So I'm talking about, driving like 7 hours total, and got up, went to work Monday, went to work Tuesday. And I was drained. I was physically drained, where my body ached. My body ached. And finally, I had to listen to me. I had to listen to my body. My body said, sit down. It said, sit down. So you know what? I sat down. And I took off work, and I remember I laid down on the couch about 12:15. I didn't wake up to 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. I slept that whole time, but that's what my body needed. So we have to take the time to listen to what our body needs and respond accordingly. But someone may be saying, well, I have kids and I don't have time. I get that. This is why having support groups and networks are so important, where you can have a friend where it's your turn, or you guys, trade off. I'll watch the kids this week so that you can go to the movies with a friend, or so that you can, don't abuse that. If you say you're going to be back by 11, then be home back by 11. Don't come rolling up in here the next day. Nobody had time for all that. Okay. So do your part, but have that network wherein, you guys can trade off, and maybe it's your turn to just sleep. Sometimes that's just all you need. You just need that refreshing. You need just that quiet time. I remember when I was younger, my mother would call in. She said she back then, she was calling it a mental health day. And, when she said she should have never told me the day before she wasn't going to work. Because I was like, oh, well, I need a mental health day too. I want to stay home with you. She was like, that would defeat the purpose. Take your butt to school, So, but even back then, I would begin to learn the importance of taking a day. Take a day off. Send the kids to school. Even if you don't have that support system where someone can keep them that night or over the weekend or something, you may not have that support system. Send them to school and you take the day off. Let you get up, get dressed like you going to work. They don't need to know. And then you come back home and get in the bed and go to sleep. Take a bubble bath. Just take that time for you. Take it for you. It will make a world of difference. It really does. So, setting ourselves up for success. One of the most basic things that I think we forget to do, especially we as parents, we as women, we forget to set boundaries for ourselves. We need to set boundaries. Like after a certain time, people shouldn't be calling your house. People shouldn't be, or if they are calling your house, they put that thing on do not disturb so that you can sleep. And then, and I already know the argument, but I have kids that's out of town. Well, then you set it up in your phone so that they can contact you. But the rest of that foolishness, it can wait till in the morning. If you're off work and your boss is texting you over some foolishness, it can wait. Now, I know I purposely try not to reach out to anybody who's off work. If you're off work, you're off work. I'm not going to bother you. If I have to call you, it's a dire emergency. And my supervisor, for the most part, is the same way. If I have to contact you, it's because it's an emergency. But other than that, we have to set boundaries. Everybody can't have 24-hour access to us. And I know these phones, especially our kids, and it was COVID. So you're working from home. So they think they can just reach out to you and get an answer immediately all the time. We have to set up boundaries. Boundaries are so vital. So I'm not trying to get anybody to stand up to their bosses. I just saw that message. Okay. But nevertheless, I am saying that we have to set boundaries for ourselves. And we do have to set boundaries on our jobs, that we you can't have 24-hour access to me. You really can't. It's after hours. There are some exceptions, I understand, but not 24 hours all the time. No, sir, no, man. Stand up to you, boss. So, but yeah, everyone can have access to your time, your life, your emotion, or your resources. I see people keeping people on their Facebook and knowing that this person don't like you and all this stuff. Why? Why? Because I want to know what they say. Why? What difference does this matter? They mean nothing. Their words mean nothing. Cut that foolishness. Cut it. Set boundaries for yourself. Now, I love this slide that I have right here. And that is making sure you take time to take a moment to breathe and do daily check-ins. And I made sure I put pictures of men, because I know a lot of times men, when they think of, whenever we say that meditation is good, we think of women in yogi positions, sitting on the floor, meditating. But it's so much more than that. And meditating is an excellent revitalization of the mind, body, and spirit. So it's whether you're just taking a few minutes to sit in a chair and just reflect, to step away. Maybe you may have had an intense meeting and at work, and you just need to regroup. Clear your mind. Again, YouTube has everything. They have all kind of meditation practices that you can do for 3 minutes. You can do for 5 minutes, or, if you have the time, then you can do a 30-minute meditation. But if you just need to reset, then pushing back for a moment every day is a wonderful, wonderful way to continue to maintain your balance. Maintaining your balance, that is so important. So I think, again, back to Simone Biles and how, she said that she needed to focus on her mental, emotional well-being, and especially in a sport like gymnastics, because, she's doing all kind of crazy, insane tricks that if her head isn't in the game, she could suffer far more than injury. She could literally die, and for her head not to be in the game, it says a lot. And for her to recognize that it's not, that's a sign of strength. So don't ever think that just because you are reaching out for help, that means that you're not strong, because that's just the opposite. For her, if she had gone out and competed and hurt herself seriously, killed herself at worst, then, that would have, let's take the killed herself off. Let's just say she hurt herself and she performed poorly. That would have been detrimental to the team score. But instead, she took herself out so that someone else could step in and get a great score, which is what was done. So that was an excellent move on her behalf. But I know a lot of times people outside of the sport who don't understand how that works, they have all kind of things to say, all kind of negative things to say. And again, it's like nothing that, you do, especially as a woman, and then I'm going to be specific, as an African-American woman, nothing we do is ever good enough. It's ever right. If we sacrifice and give our all, then that very thing that we get complimented for will be the very thing that they hold against you. What? I need a sip on that, because I'm going to say it again. The very thing you get complimented for will be the very thing that they will hold against you. Oh, you're too passionate. Oh, you care too much. Oh, you're too nice. But you just said those were my strengths. Man, let me just take a sip. So that's why you have to do you. That's why you have to do you. You have to do you. And you have to take those moments to evaluate, self-regulate, and check in with yourself. so that you can maintain your balance. I hope this is making sense. Is this making sense to anyone? I'm trying to see if I have any other funny comments. All righty. So with that, I think that, again, asking for help when we need help. And help may not, be, oh, I need to go talk with a psychologist. No, help may be that I just need someone to come get these kids. Help may be that I need an assistant. I need someone to manage these data or help me with payroll. I just need extra hands. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Asking for help is a strength, because you know your limitations. And when we know our limitations, we can then self-regulate, get the resources that we need so that we can be successful and accomplish our goals in the long run. So, and then I love this one. Let me share this slide. I love this one. We have to celebrate our victories, even the small ones. We finished a difficult class. We finished a difficult semester. We came through a hard time through our work. We had some big deadlines that we had to meet. Celebrate those victories. You wrote a grant and it was funded. Man, celebrate that. Celebrate your victories and celebrate the victories of others. Men don't have a hard time getting together and enjoying themselves. They don't have a problem with that. They can do that and they will be in the moment. That's the one thing that I truly admire about men, is that they can be in the moment. If a man is at a football game, rest assured he is not thinking about what are the kids going to eat for lunch. I promise you that will not run across his mind. I promise you, if he is at the game with his boys, he is not thinking about who's going to pick up the kids. He not. Okay. When a man gets into bed to go to sleep at night, he lays down, he closes his eyes and he sleeps because he's in the moment. Men are in the moment. So I kudos to men for being able to do that. We as women have to learn how to do the same thing, how to learn to be in the moment. But we're so used to, again, wearing our capes around our neck and multitasking. So even though we're at the game, even though we're out with our girls, we over here doing math homework, on our phones with the kids. We checking to see if you guys wash the dishes, like you said you were going to do. And, we're constantly multitasking, but we have to learn to be in the moment. It's less stressful when we are in the moment, when we can plan regularly so that we can take that time for ourselves to just be with our friends and just enjoy a moment without running around with, worrying about all the deadlines that we have and all the goals that we're trying to pursue. We make sure that in the midst of our pursuit that we take that time to celebrate ourselves and celebrate each other. I hope that makes sense. So with that, I cannot believe time goes by really, really fast, or either I must talk a lot. Talk a lot. So I want to give a break for our sponsor, and our sponsor is me, Bite to Smile. Bite to Smile is a campaign for women, career-minded women who are in the pursuit of excellence, those who have their own foundation. They stand firmly on what they believe. They hold their head up and they continue to fight and continue to smile. Thank you. I'm going to take that as a compliment. I just received another message. I take it as a compliment. So last thing I want to say is this. to everyone when we're in pursuit of whatever it is that we're in pursuit of. We have to remember the why. Why are we doing what we are doing? And the bottom line is that we have to be true to our own selves. Why am I doing this? Am I doing this to impress other people? Am I doing this to, whatever the reason is, whatever your reason for doing something? I'm doing it because I want to make my parents proud, or I want to show so and so that I could do it, and they always said that I couldn't do it. But whatever it is, whatever your reason is for doing it, make sure that at the end of the day that you're being true to you, because at the end of the day, you're the only one who this is truly impacting. Because the not eating and all the sacrifices that we go through to accomplish these goals and not sleeping, that is touching our bodies. And there's a book that's is called oh my goodness, the book, just the title, I just lost it. It's The Body Keeps Score. The Body Keeps Score. And at the end of the day, all these years that we go without eating well, all these years we go without sleeping, it catches up with us. It catches up with us. And it does us no good to have accomplished all these goals and can't even stick around long enough to enjoy the fruits of our labor. So with that, I'm going to bid you a good night. But I want to just remind you that maintaining balance, again, is all about knowing your goals, being true to yourself, knowing why you're pursuing what you are pursuing, and then, of course, doing the work, maintaining your health, eating well, sleeping well, getting some exercise in when you can, even if it's just pushing away from the computer, taking a quick walk, whatever it is, just getting out there, doing something, keep moving. And then, of course, it also is taking time to celebrate your success and the success of others. And that's all that I have for this evening. I bid you all a very, very good evening, and I will see you next time. Have a great night, everyone.